Hi, I'm author Richard Paul Evans. If you're meeting me for the first time, hi, and I'll give you a short background. I'm the author of 48 New York Times bestselling books, including the number one New York Times bestseller and USA Today bestseller, The Christmas Box, and the international bestselling Michael Bay series. 8 of my books have been turned into movies. If you watch the Hallmark channel at Christmas, you've no doubt seen at least 3 of my movies. But including my first feature film, The Noel Diary, starring Justin Hartley, which was on Netflix a number one global hit. I'm often asked how I keep up with my life. In addition to my books and movies and speaking events, I also run a publishing company, a ranch resort, an online company that mentors thousands of authors, and maybe most significantly, a charity called the Christmas Box House International. This is a charity that helps and protects abused children. To date, the Christmas Box House has helped and protected more than 170,000 abused children. But that's only the public side of my life. I also have my relationships. I have my wife and children and grandchildren, my friends, the institutions I'm involved with, as well as my most important relationship, the one with God and my inner spiritual life. So how do I keep my life productive and balanced? Well, I've been working on that problem for years, and I've created a very important life hack, and one I'd like to share with you. It's my own planner. I call it the 5 Realms Planner. Now, before I get into this, I want to answer a question I often get. Why do I use a paper planner in a digital age? Well, it's not because I'm a Luddite or a technophobe. I've literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars keeping up on the latest technology. But what I found through this all is that keeping a digital planner has always stifled my creativity. Always. Perhaps it's the same reason that paper book sales continue to outpace digital book sales. There's something powerful about putting pen or pencil to paper. It's also, ironically, much faster. So at least it is for me. Okay, so back to my planner. There's a history to this. As a child, I came from a large family with financial struggles. In fact, for years, I didn't even have a bed, but I slept on the floor. I remember wearing shoes with kite strings for shoelaces, or once enduring a throbbing toothache for several weeks because we couldn't afford a dentist. I decided at a very young age that I wanted more for my life than just survival. And I think you do too, which is probably why you're here. I started keeping a daily diary when I was just 9 years old, but it wasn't until I was 14 that I started using planners. And I realized that keeping a daily planner was just like keeping a diary, except instead of just recording what happened to me that day, I was actually deciding what was going to happen to me that day. It gave me the ability to truly dream and to make my dreams come true. This empowered me in ways that I can't even share with you. The philosopher Henry David Thoreau said, "The mass of men live lives of quiet desperation." I understood what he meant by that, and I stopped just being a victim to circumstance like most people really are, and take charge of my life. I began with a small planner called a Daytimer that a friend at high school showed me. And then as I grew, I changed planners for my different needs. I went from Daytimer to Dayrunner to Franklin to the Kingdom Organizer with a few in between. In fact, at one point, when I wanted something better, I started just buying these notebooks and making my own planner, which was a lot of work each day, writing out the different squares and things I wanted. After years of doing this, I decided I wanted to produce my own system. And even if I spent thousands of dollars just for myself, it was completely worth it. So once I produced the system, something powerful happened. For the first time in my life, I made my New Year's goals. I may be the only one in the world who's actually done that. I accomplished every one of my New Year's goals. And these were big goals, like writing 2 best-selling novels, building a new cabin at my resort, remodeling our children's shelters, taking my wife to Italy. You get the idea. These were not small things. When I asked my Facebook friends if anyone would be interested in using my system since I have it, I received thousands of requests. So here's what I created, and I call it the 5 Realms Planner. First, let me explain the title. The 5 Realms refers to the 5 realms of our lives. The first realm is our connection to God or the divine. I call it here the source. Okay. Second realm is our connection to family. Usually it's our husband or wife and our children, but in today's day, it's really what you decide that family means to you. Realm 3, this is where our friends are. These are people we care about and people who care about us. They usually come through an association, like we met at school or church. But even if that association disappears, they remain. That's how we know they're friends. Realm 4, this is the associates and institutions in our life. This is work, school, church, clubs, things like that, the institutions that guide our lives. And realm 5, well, this is the world. To me, realm 5 is like the ocean, right? It's huge with a lot of opportunity. There's treasures and resources and sushi, but there's also great white sharks, and it's wildly unstable and dangerous. So you don't want to really live there in the world. Each of these realms are important in their own way, but the way we prioritize them is vital to our success and happiness. Here's the 5 realms planner. Now, each planner is sufficient for 90 days or a quarter of the year, so you'll need 4 per year. It's attractive and lightweight. It actually feels good and very tactile. And it's made from high-quality paper to improve the writing experience. But here are the 5 things that make my 5 realms planner work so well and why my staff and myself can't live without it. First is the simple and practical design of the planner. I'll begin by showing you the inside of the planner, its different pages, and its layout. Now, the page you're going to use most is right here. You'll notice there's not a set date. Okay, this means that you can start it at any time of the year, and any day. So to show you how to write this in, I'll just show you the different pages. So this is like the middle of the week, right? So here's Thursday, May 15th. Now, when you want to do a week, you just cross out the letters and write the week. That's all you do. Now, for the month, you do the exact same thing. You write in the month of May, cross it out. Now, the one difference with the month is that also you'll move the tab there because it is 3 months. This will help you keep track. This page comes out and you can just put it back in. You'll also notice that each page here, that it's perforated. And so it's really easy to find the day where you're at, right? You just hold on to it and open up. And every day you just tear that little piece off. Now, on the main pages, what I'd like to do, this has your daily tasks. So I like to circle the number next to the tasks that are most important. So I'll just circle like that. These are the things I definitely don't want to miss for that day. To the side of the daily page, we have an hourly schedule. So that way I can give my task a timeline, especially if it's a set meeting or appointment. And I just keep that on the side here. On the bottom of the main page are the 5 realms reminders. And this is where I focus on my personal life and my goals. Okay, so we like here in realm 1, meditation. Here I wanted to make sure I check with my daughter. It's her birthday coming up, and here send flowers to a friend who is just getting over an illness. Now you'll notice that when you open up this page, this book, that right on this side of it, every time you have this, you're going to have this page of all notes. And this is something that is so helpful. And once you start using it, you'll just see how valuable this is, and you'll never go back. My assistant is actually off camera nodding her head because at the end of the day, this is completely filled up. And it's how she keeps track of things. Okay, so now back here, when you open up, you'll see there's the last tab is projects. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. The second reason I love the 5 Realms Planner is because the design provides a simple way for me to break down my big goals into bite-sized, manageable pieces. You know the saying, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. That's exactly what this is. So at the front of the planner, there's this tab. And this is your yearly goals. You write in, these are the big things you want to accomplish this year. And the thing is, then it's always in front of you. We've all had that experience where we write down our New Year's goals and then never look at them until the next year. This is how I create my life. At the beginning of the year, I think, what are the most important things that can happen? And that includes my personal life. Are the relationships I want to repair? Could I become closer to a friend or a family member? I write all these things down in the personal realm section as well. And this becomes my goal, my map for the year. And then what I do is at the beginning of each month, I go to my month tab and I write down on the month what I need to do this month to achieve my annual goals. Okay, so I break down that big goal into something month-sized. Now, this is really powerful. Every month, it gives me a time for reflection to look at how my life is going, what I'm accomplishing. It's a really powerful experience, but I don't just stop right there, because what I do is then, at the beginning of every week, I write out my weekly goals. And the way I come up with those weekly goals is by looking at my monthly goals. I break those down into smaller parts. If I'm going to hit my monthly goals, what do I need to accomplish this week to get it done? It's easy to look at like writing a novel. How many pages do I have to write? How many words do I need to get done? My big goal is to have a new novel this year, but this way I break it down into what needs to happen on a regular basis. And then when I start the day, what I do is I look at my weekly goals first. Okay, I don't have to look at the monthly, I don't have to look at the annual because it's already here. I already broke down what needs to happen this week, and I break down into what I'm going to do this day to accomplish the week's goals. This is really powerful because I actually get everything done. So each day you refer to the week to decide what you need to do each day. It works really well. It keeps your actions focused and productive, and things just don't slip through the cracks. The third reason I love my planner is because there's a project section. Now, behind this tab right here, you'll see the last one. It says projects, all right? And behind this are a different color sheet. These are project sheets. Whether you're planning a trip, a wedding, or even a remodel, this is how you keep all the important information, like dates and contacts and bids, all in one place. So instead of scattered on scraps of paper and Post-it notes about your house and purse, this way, it's always there for your reference. And I can't tell you how incredibly helpful this has been to me. How many times I've needed a reference to go back to, and I go back to that page and I have everything there. It makes life so much easier. And sometimes even to go back months later and say, well, yeah, I know when that happened. And I find the project planner and I'm able to not only protect myself, but make sure things are done right. The fourth reason I love this planner is just because of the realm section. And this is here at the bottom of the page. Realm 1, Realm 2, that's what that R stands for. And this helps me prioritize my realms so I don't forget those most important connections. Like in Realm 1, I write down my spiritual goals and reminders and keep track of them. For instance, I made a goal that I was going to stop watching social media before going to bed. And to keep that on there, because you would forget, it became a habit, and then to actually stop that and watch the impact it had on my life. In Realm 2, I plan my connection, with my family. This is a good example. I have 5 children. So once I said to one of my daughters, I miss you. It's been a week since we've talked. And she said, Dad, it's been a whole month. Well, time flies sometimes, right? And we are so busy that we lose track of the most important things. That doesn't happen anymore. This way, I write down in Realm 2, I write down one of my kids each day of the week. And I reach out to them because I have 5 kids. So I reach out to one of them every weekday. I ask them about their lives, what they're doing. Now, I see them other times as well. But this way I know that we've never gone a week without talking, wherever they are in the world. In Realm 3, I use that to remind myself of important things. Like I have a friend who's going in for an MRI or someone who has an upcoming birthday or anniversary. And this way I can remember to send flowers or, at least call them. The fifth reason I love the 5 Realms Planner is because, in a way, it's my daily diary. It keeps a record of my life. And then when you order the annual set, not only do you receive a discount, but you also receive this sturdy catalog box. So I can keep an entire year of my planners inside here, and then I have reference. No more lost information. But there's even more. By going to 5realms.com, that's the number 5, you can order your planners and you can join our monthly newsletter and receive helpful life information. You can meet other forward-thinking friends in our community and access our 5 Realms guided meditation. This is a powerful personal experience to bring calm and inner strength into your life. On the back of the planner is a quote from one of my novels. It reads, "The most important story we'll ever write in life is our own, not with ink, but with our daily choices. I wish you much success, more happiness, productivity, and most of all, more peace. Thank you. Welcome to our community and welcome to a wonderful new life."